Where is my chat? Whoops, that is not what I meant to do. Hey folks, if you're already here, I'm trying to figure out just, general start of stream stuff, so bear with me. Here we go, pop out chat. Yay! Go. Pop out chat there. And get that rolling. Hey folks, I know there's only like one of you here at the moment, but good to see ya. Oh, well, 2 people now. Huzzah! Getting stuff set up, so bear with me. I might not be super talkative just yet. Hey Ro, good to see ya. Now I'm letting folks on my online stuff know that it's going. Do do do. Let me just get stuff. Let people know that things are going. Don't do sound check. Hey kitty. Got my Kit Kat visiting on the desk. I'm gonna have to push him off though in a little bit so that I have room for my keyboard. Because I have to scooch things around. Yeah, I have to scooch things around. Let's see. Here we go, keyboard. Make sure my screen is where I like it. I'll check for you, Ro. And just so you know, the form should still be open, so. Ro, what's your Patreon name? 'Cause I am spacing it completely. Andrew R. Ah. Squirrel Keeper? Unless... I'm not seeing an Andrew R in the list of the in the form, but if you put sorry, I'm bad with names. I wish I was better. But if you're who I think you are and you're Squirrel Keeper, then yeah, you put one in like an hour ago. If not, and you're not Squirrel Keeper, then go ahead and put another one in. Put your request in, and like I said, I generally just keep checking on these and updating them. Yeah, go right ahead. Okay. What do? Hey folks, got about 5 more minutes. Glad to see you here. Getting ready to get started. But got about 4 more minutes. So glad to see people trickling in and getting ready for stream. I should probably do some quick stretches beforehand. My body is very crunchy tonight. Especially because I completely spaced that I had a new sleep schedule now. And my new sleep schedule does not super jive with this streaming time. It'll be fine for tonight. Just need to keep it in mind. So I'll probably be switching switching streaming times for next month. Hey Scuzz, good to see ya. Got about 3 more minutes before I start stream officially. It has been a very gray day over here, but that's not too bad. Got put morning school hours for 3 weeks a day, so yay. Yep. Well, hey Avery, good to see ya. Yeah, with my sleep schedule, I intentionally switched it up because I was just the dark was getting to me doing night shift, especially in the what's the word? In the winter, because I'd come home from work at 7 a.m. and sleep till 3 and then wake up. And so I was getting like maybe 2 hours of sunlight exposure before it got dark at 5 o'clock. So now I just went and was like, okay, let's try just staying awake until about 3 o'clock and then passing out and waking up again at when I was ready to go to work. And it's worked out a lot nicer energy-wise. It's been very good for me, just because I can feel myself like be alive again. But at the same time, I ordered my life around the other way around, so now I need to remember that I need to flip stuff around. So, you know how it is. And we got about 1 more minute here. I'm gonna double check, Ro, if you're still getting stuff in, I'd hurry and get that done before start of stream. I've still got, like, 24 responses. So, I would get to running on that before the first draw. Okay, and it is officially 5 o'clock. So welcome everybody to the stream. Good to see you. I'm a little bit out of sorts tonight, but that's just because, like I said, had some issues remembering that my sleep schedule has changed. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and looks like we have 25 responses. So let me just pull the name from that one and put it into our spinner. And I will show you guys. Let me just transition over real quick to the other screen. Alrighty. So this time I have went and added here's number 25. So it looks like we have 25 entries, and I've changed up our wheel spinner, and I got stuff. It's got a nice little shuffle. That way we can make sure it's truly randomized. So let's get us underway and get that first roll in. Oh wait, looks like Rose said they just submitted. So let me just go ahead and grab that as well. Gonna put that name in. There we go. Alrighty. Shuffle once more. Yep, Irotha, your name's in there, see? And we're gonna go ahead and roll to run. See who we get first. Evening. Okay. Looks like our first winner is Zelo. Let's see what Zelo put in for their submission. Okay. So, with Zelo, I'm actually gonna pull this into a different one so that folks don't get spoiled for other requests. Alright, so Zelo is wanting Zelo and Azure TF'd into two young monkey kids looking over their new bodies in surprise. Okay. Let me just pull out our references. Whop. Of course, we got our... we are vastly familiar with these references. And then we have a monkey kid example. So let's take a look at what they're wanting for a monkey kid. Huh. Okay. I don't think I've ever really seen a design like this before, but it's interesting. Sort of mostly human, but with a little bit of monkey thrown in. A little bit more monkey. Alright. I'm gonna pull my references over to the other screen so I can keep an eye on them. And get rolling. They can be more TF, more monkey looking? Okay, we'll work with that. Let us get warmed up and make some new layers while we're at it, because drawing on the background is no bueno. Let's see, what sort of... Let's nail some poses down, of course. I do kind of want to do one scratch in their head, because that's kind of like the stereotypical monkey pose. Maybe hand out like that. Maybe kind of like looking at their little like hand foot type of thing. That's cute. Although maybe, yeah, a little more like that. There we go. And then if we have one going one way, we should have one going the other way. Nice symmetry. Let's see. Maybe one like feeling the weird little monkey ears. That might be cute. Sort of mimicking the hear no evil thing. And then just have, yeah. It's not a great stick figure, but hey, we're just getting basics down. Doesn't need to be super great. There we go. There we go. We're going to send another ref through the Discord too, if that helps. Okay, we'll take a look at it. If my Discord will actually load, gosh darn it. Sometimes my... here we go. Here's that second ref. Okay, cute, 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 cute. Putting that over here with my bunch of refs. And we're gonna turn that opacity down and start building. I think I'm also gonna look up some regular monkeys. Because monkeys are fun, but they are also very... They're hard to do nicely. Like because it's just kind of like you gotta get the sort of right look for them without making them too human or making them too weird, you know? Oh, these things are cute. These things are cute as hell. I like them. I don't know what type of monkeys they are, but... Endangered Asian monkey. Sorry, side tangent, because I think they're just really cute. Langurs, cute. I might be using some of them as some of those features as well. So, all right. Let's get our bodies in. Ooh. Did I zoom in way too much, or let's fit screen. Okay, yeah. That's why it's looking all weird and pixelated. Because I went way too tiny. When I thought I was being cautious, but I have more room than that. I can take up more room. All right. Although maybe just scooch him down a touch. There we go. That way. Yep. Monkeys are like just that bit off model from people that makes them a bit hard. Now, I'm pretty sure that, if I remember correctly, in my family, my grandparents always nicknamed my brothers the little monkeys, because, in particular, because we had like a bouldering gym, not our YMCA that was close to us here in my hometown had a nice rock wall, and so my brothers loved climbing. And so they learned how to climb there, and then they went and climbed over everything. The bunch of jumping on the bed too, of course. Okay. And looking at monkey feet to get a better idea of how these things are built, because they're hand-like, but they're not exactly hands. They've got weird setups, you know. Because like I said, they definitely have hand-like feet, but not exactly hand feet. So let's get on that. Got kind of like a elongated and then we get some cute furry covering on that. But that's probably a bit too detailed as of yet. Gave him some good grippers too. Because in general, I think that's where a lot of monkeys look different than humans, is they have longer arms in general, especially the ones that are more tree-based versus like gorillas and stuff. Then we want this leg to be like, how would I pose that? Because what we want is for this leg to be sort of upturned. Because like looking at sort of the paw. Is that how it works? It feels like that'd be how it works. Yeah, that feels right. Now, I think this one's gonna be Zelo. So I've got Zelo's human ref right there. That's pretty neat. I think I might have heard of it, but if the one I'm thinking of is the one I've heard of, it's like a serious sort of drama take on it. Yeah, the Darwin. That is the one I was thinking of. Let's get the facial features in. Get closer. Doo-doo-doo. Gonna make these glasses real big and sort of hanging off the face, you know, because, you know, for the cuteness factor. Now, get that fun spiky hair. Although in this case I want to extend it down a bit so that it also covers the face, covers some of the body as well. Ah, TG Heart Note. I didn't realize you were a new patron. Nice to meet you. I'm glad you like my. I'm glad you think I'm very professional. Let's see what I can do. Okay, that looks pretty nice. And let's get this hand up here, and I say that as I move over to the shoulder real quick to fix up some of the lines. And erase this so I can see better. Then let's get sort of a scratching his head motion Or scratching their head motion going on. Ah. Yeah, and if you join the Patreon, the request form is on Patreon and it's open all throughout stream. I check it semi-regularly usually after I finish up with a piece, of course. Then let's get some clothes going. Control Z, Control Z. Because, alright. Thinking this through, we got just sort of a basic t-shirt. It would probably be pulling right here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's generally where I'm at, like, pace-wise. I can manage about, like, obviously, I want folks to submit just, like, smaller things because they're easier to do. But in general, the most I can do in stream is about 2 characters. Otherwise, we spend too much time working on one thing. And I'm gonna make this sort of a, t-shirt dress situation. Or like when you're a kid and you're wearing your parents' pajamas your parents' shirt as pajamas. Let's clean up some of the inside real quick. Put some more monkey fur on our folks. Yeah, that's definitely something I can do. I mean, someone intentionally TFing into an Anthro Raichu. That's one of the things like that you can. The main rules for my transformation stuff is keep it safe for work. Keep your references safe for work because I will be showing them on stream. And like 1 to 2 people, maybe 1 complex prop, maybe 1 prop, because I only stream for 2 hours and I'm honestly kind of slow art-wise. I do my best. Alright, looks like I got Zelo in there. Let's add Archer because they're the ones requested a nice double one, and I think I'm gonna just leave them in the t-shirt one. Then Yeah, I think this needs to be a little bit longer. Show it's a foot rather than it's a weird foot hand rather than a weird hand, just a weird hand. Oh, hey, baby cat. Got my cat visiting, chilling in their bed, which is I put on the chair behind me. And then obviously some fur on here. Just checking proportions, because okay, yeah, that leg was a little too chunky. Like, sure, they're, you know, kids, and kids are a little chunky, but like there's a balance. All right. And then showcase those cute round ears. And have Archer kind of looking over to their side, like this, you know. A little bit unsure. I don't know. Nah, maybe not. That's not the right expression. That's a bit too fearful. Like, we want him curious. Curious and unsure, but not, like, horribly, like, scared or anything. There we go. That's a bit more like it. We want them to be little curious Georges. Searching for the Patreon link. If anyone wants to drop that in chat, that'd be awesome. So I can keep focusing on this. Thank you, Ak. What do you hold to your ear? Yeah, the link for the form to enter this is a little bit back in the Patreon feed, but that's just because it was, you know, posted at the beginning of the month. I am having a hard time with this arm pose. So let's just rough it out. And then hand-wise, you'd probably be like sort of gripping in between like that. Awesome. And then rest of this, yeah, flesh that out a bit more. That's not what I wanted. So we'll have this one also kind of just on top of the head, and then this one more pulling at the ear specifically. Art takes brain power, which unfortunately I've always lack a lot of. Okay, then let's get some. Can monkeys have curly fur? I wonder if that's possible. Huh. That it is. That's pretty cool. That's neat to know. Well, some of this is AI, but some of this is real. And it looks like, yeah, they can have curly fur on occasion. Looks like this one specifically has a lot. It's like how its coat is built. So let's oh, that's not how I want to do that. Yeah, I probably should get tying this one off real quick. Let me just... I am pretty much done with it, at least pose-wise. Let me just rough in a shirt on this one. And a tail, so I don't forget the tail exists. Okay. There we go. A little rough, but stuff will get cleaned up during... Yeah, stuff will get cleaned up. Okay. What do you think, Zelo? Look good? Glad you like it. Alright, let's just get rid of these refs. And then close. And get our... double check our names, because we had some new entries. 27 now. Neat. Let me just make sure. Huh. At least in the request stream, it looks like Roe accidentally put 212 in. Maybe when you were trying to send me that other thing. Yep, you can take Zelo off the list. Then, yep. I think in that case then looks like we have everybody. So. Oh, you want to remove yours too since you were in this one? You sure, Azure? You mean you have your own entry? You have your own entry. But if you're cool with it, I'll take you out. Alrighty. Just make sure I didn't accidentally copy. Alright. Refresh my system. And then shuffle this. And let's give it a roll. Okay, and Lockley. Looks like you are our next lucky winner. Let me hit remove. That way I don't have to do it afterwards. And let's look at your request. Alright, Lockley. I would love to give a gift art to my friend, I've cleared it from them, of their two characters, Lee and Alec. Alec is trans and also a werewolf. He's hoping to get Lee looking a bit worried for Alec as Alec wolfs out. Okay. I think I know these characters. And they're pretty fun. Let me pull. This is Alec's toy house. Okay. Neat, neat. Very fun. Okay, and that's more like what the wolf form is. Gotcha. I think I'm gonna start. I'm gonna at least make sure that we get Alec wolfing out, because we just did another one with two characters. I'm gonna get Alec done at least, and then check the time, and I might have to put a very rough Lee in and do them off screen. Okay. So. Let's see. Let's get composition. Let's check composition, because that is usually what makes I'm trying to get some clear space to work in. There we go. All right, so kind of want to go little like a little feral with it. Let's get on the ground, or like, because this looks semi-painful, you know? Let's get a nice crouch going. Yeah, a nice crouch. because crouches are fun. Ah, that's why it's not working. That's why it's not reading right. Because I have been... Okay, let's... Maybe it's a bit too... Maybe I need to scrunch it a bit. Yeah, scrunch. Scrunch a bit. And a little bit... Yeah. You want one hand on the ground, but also like... Yeah. Alright. There's our nice rough... There's our very rough sketch, and then I figure if we can get to Lee quickly, I'll have him in the background like, ah, my friend, you know, sort of standing by. There we go. Although I think they're a little taller than this. There we go. Looking at some of the more general art for this character. Alright. So we can get some good idea of, you know, they're wolfing out, so maybe they didn't get their clothes off in time. Get some fun some fun tearing going on. And looks like we got sort of a muzzle going, not a full like wolf face. Semi-humanoid. And we want sort of a heavy scrunch to the face going on, because it looks painful. But I probably should figure out the rest of the form before you go into for details. That is always one of my pitfalls. Then hand, general pose. Get us a good scrunch in here. My top part of the body is way too big. Okay. Build from the torso up, rather than starting with the head, because it's always very tempting to start with the head, because the head is fun, the head is charismatic. That's where all the peopleness comes in. It's all like your brain is always wanting to be like, ooh, yes, start there, but it ends up throwing things off a lot. Like, oftentimes when folks look at a person, or that's also where they look first, is you look at a person's face. It's just hardwired into people's brains because, because of science and evolution. So, that's actually why a lot of people when starting out find it easier to do furry art rather than humans, because furries are a touch further from humanity, and so our brains aren't as heavily pattern associated with them, and so you can mess up the anatomy on a dog face far more than you can mess up the anatomy on a human and still get away with it. And then we want this sort of all tucked in and stressed. Stress point. Okay, here we go. That pose is looking a lot better than before. Now to just place the head better, and maybe I had it way too large last time. You want to keep it correct in proportion. Yeah. Okay. And his head still looks a little big. Like they're supposed to be cartoony, but maybe not that cartoony. Double check it from out. Yeah, that's better. That fits more. Honestly, I kind of want to put this on a... Oh, no, I can't. I don't need to put it on a sketch layer. Well, yeah. No, we'll keep it at 100%. Okay, and then... get that face shape in. Have some fun with okay, let's get close so I can make sure that this reads right. And it's kind of dumb, but whenever I do like sort of this open mouth snarling slash in pain look, I do the facial, I make the face because it just makes it so much easier to like draw. It's easier to draw the exaggerated expression when you're doing the exaggerated expression. It just fits your brain easier. And then we've got some nice thick eyebrows. And wolf form. Got sort of a ear thing going on with, it got sort of that semi-humanoid, semi-wolf-like thing, which is fun. Very fun for them. And got some fun stylized hair. I do like the way that this, like, sort of thing is stylized in some of the other pics. I think I'll focus on the hair after I get some clothes on them, though. Some clothes and some other fur. This one draw and this one pick they got sort of collared shirt situation going on. Whoops, wrong thing. Cancel, cancel, cancel. I should probably save this. I'm doing a quick save to make sure that nothing bad happens to it. Okay. Okay. Then get some clothes on our boy over here. Tonight is very spaghetti-y, I think. Like, a lot of my art's feeling nice and rough. Feeling very rough. Have this bit pulled back and starting to like fur and get wild. I am okay. Decently happy with that. Well, okay, so we get the hair pulled back. Then in this picture where they're still sort of not quite where they're still in their human form, they got a not a bun, a ponytail situation going on. So we'll work with that. And then get that ponytail sort of wilding out as they're transforming. And some fur growing in. Tuft on the chest as well. Emphasize them claws. Because claws is fun and I like claws. And a little bit of tail rippage. And some proper fur in there. Okay. It's real messy at the moment. But I'm liking how it's looking so far. And then I want to make sure I have enough time to do other stuff, so I'm gonna just put like a little name thing on here, and I'll have the references so I can look them up later. But yeah, there's Lee in the background, and I'll get them done at a later time. If that's okay with you, Lockley. Looks good. What do you think so far? Looking good? I'm gonna call that done for now. No, you're not done. You're not too late, TJ. But yep, like I said, want to make sure things are rolling along, so I will work on Lee later, because we just hit about 6. And then let me pull up our wheel of names. Alright. And just refresh, make sure we got everybody. Oh, looks like Becca got added in, so let's put their name on the list as well. There we go, Becca. You're now on the list, and we shuffle again. And spin. All right. William Kennard. I'm not sure they're in the stream, but because I know that they usually are mostly a Discord and Patreon person. We'll get them removed. And let's take a look. Okay, William Kennard says, we're just going to go with the original suggestion. An apprentice finds out what happens when you miscast find familiar as become familiar. No ref, just a silly concept I want to see happen. Okay, fun. Fun. I gotta make this bigger. Gotta make this entire paper bigger, because I draw big when my brain... Is this gonna make it very slow to save? Yes, but it's worth it. Alrighty. I'm not even sure they have a Discord. But maybe... Oh, wait, hold on. Let me scroll up a bit. I believe that their Discord name is... I think that's William Swiftfoot, or, yeah, William Swiftfoot in the Discord. Alright. got ourselves a fun artist's interpretation. Of a poor magician's apprentice who's quickly finding out that they miscast find familiar as become familiar. Let's give them a tail, and that's one of the first things that they're noticing. What type of familiar do we want them to be, though? I mean, a black cat is usually witch's familiar. I'm just kind of looking up some Wikipedia. What's some common ones? I know that they enjoy foxes, so let's go with a fox. Or well, yeah. Ooh. Okay. Weird medieval creature that I enjoy that doesn't get used a lot. It's called not FNAF. No, that's not what I'm misremembering the name, but it's essentially like a fox combo with a bird. Fox, bird, mythical creature. It was like a... There's a name for it, and I am completely misremembering it. Enfield, that's what it is. Enfield. These thingies. That is not what I want either. Gosh darn it. Creature. Yeah, it's from heraldry. So it's like a fox with eagle talons. I think that'll be fun. Alright. Zoom in more. And let's... Maybe they didn't quite notice the bird feet, and we'll have that sticking out. But the tail is the thing that really got them to stop the chant and be like, oh, wait, what? That's my thought. That's my thought anyway. Alrighty. Let's maybe have this arm holding the book like out a little further. That way we can sort of like get a peek into the book, like they're holding it open and we can, right. Yeah. Figure they should be like both on sort of on a similar page so that they're just misreading the wrong page. Yep, reading glasses are definitely a must. Let's do some cleanup. I want to mostly looking at the book, but also like they just felt the tail sprout and are like, whoa, what the? Maybe a little bit of foxiness to the ears. Sorry, just taking a quick look at everything together. Feel like I need to... There we go. Head is once again too big. I think having some bad tangents here with this arm. Like, okay. Alright, let's fix up this arm area. There's that hand. Now, let's have sort of half wizard robes for our apprentice here. Like, they've not earned a full robe yet, but a nice, like, oversized jackety type thing, that works perfectly. Then a tunic, of course, because this is the medieval ages. It's fantasy. Medievally ages. Hey, Riolu. Good to see ya. Get a bit of a nose going, like it's just starting. Then sort of peasanty shirt going on up here. I would put a belt in, but it would be underneath these voluminous sleeves. And you can't be a wizard without nice voluminous sleeves, you know. Or a wizard's apprentice, even. That's just part of the rules. Then let's make this lad a curly-haired, kind of page boy looking silliness. Yeah. I think he's cute. Couple of stars on his outfit. Because, you know, again, contractual obligation of being a wizard's apprentice. Big pockets, too. Hat? No hat. I'm almost kind of tempted to give him like a cone hat. Because in order to be a full wizard, you gotta earn the brim. The best part about doing medieval clothing is there's some stupid hats you can do for people. I like him. Very fun. Very cute. He's gonna have a hell of a hard time explaining that when the master gets back. I like him. I like him. Since William's not here, we'll just put the name on it and move on. There we go. Cute, 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 cute. Alrighty. Let us double check that there's not been any more new requests. Looks like there is for TJ Heartnote, so I'll grab that. Where did my wheel go? Here we go. Add them to the wheel. Control V. Shuffle. And spin. Okay, but just a hair, looks like it's Batera. Let's see what Batera is looking for. Well, Okay, Batera says, I'd like to get my Ditto Girl as a full-on goo girl. Alright, nice, nice. Get to do some fun goo action. Let's put that in. Take a look at this Ditto Girl. Okay, so this girl over here. And we just gotta translate her to goo form. Cute. Let's find some space. Let's get blobular with it. He looks very sweet. Let's come up with a cute pose to put her in. Kind of want to do sort of like a almost like a swoop. No. Like, yeah, like almost, I kind of want to have her like doing a little twirly twirl maybe. Yeah, twirly twirl. Nice and cute. And blobby. Let's do a little bit more. Just like base. Body construction. For example, let's get a leg going on. And a foot. And another leg. And another foot. And sort of a and a hand. And a roughing of a face. Okay. Well, let's see how that one's reading. I need to soften the edges a bit. Honestly, maybe just do a bit more of a turn, like, yeah. So she's, you know, she's enjoying herself. She's having a good time. She's frolicking in them fields. Maybe put the head in a slightly different position. Yeah. All right. That's not super detailed, but it's enough to get started with. Okay. Something is still bugging me about, like, again, I think head proportions. Right now, head proportions are being my worst enemy. Because we definitely want to make her very, very cutesy. So that requires like a very... She is going to be a literal moe blob, so we need to get so she needs to have like a very fun, soft face. Okay. Now, let's add that in. And then have her all smiley. That's too smiley, creepy. I need to draw with nice, strong, connected lines because that's how you make things read well. Otherwise, it doesn't read as confident, and that's how things end up not looking great. Nice, strong, confident lines. Draw from your elbow or shoulder, not your wrist, unless you're doing very fine detail work. Now, Batera, when we say like as a goo girl, are you envisioning like goo clothes, or is it just going to be like girl shape with amorphous girl shape, you know? Because I can do both. And I'm gonna start some work on the hair here, because we definitely want that to read as nice and gooey. Definitely probably more the latter. Okay. So amorphous girl goo shape. I am gonna give her a flower because that's cute. Let's have it like showing up behind. Then sort of soften that, and let's get some very good let's get some very nice curves in there, because again, we're going for nice and gooey and girly. I almost kind of want to like take the shape of her sleeves though and sort of integrate it into her arm. She's got sort of a, she's got a, at least in this picture, she's got a very nice small chest, so let's keep it that way. I'm gonna pull some of the folds from like where fabric would be to help sort of sell that goo illusion. Then let me just zoom out a touch. I should probably pop some eyelashes on her. That'll look really cute. There we go. Alright. I'm kind of tempted to do more of a almost a mitten handy type look, because I think if you're a creature made out of goo, then hands are going to be the most annoying thing in the world to like form. Like, they're useful, but they're also annoying, I think. Because you gotta think about all them wigglies. All them wiggly things. Them fingies, so. So when you're letting your goo form fly, you might as well loosen up on some of the details. I'm kind of tempted to have like a drop that's almost come off right here. Yeah, that looks good. Play around with that viscosity a bit. Just run along, maybe losing a little bit here and there. I don't want to make, again, I want to keep some of the shapes, like, of the clothes, but not, like, full clothes rendering, you know? Just sort of suggestions. Of what was there. Okay, we still need to have some form to this foot. But also a little Gumby. Just a little Gumby. Back of that leg was missing. That's why it was looking weird. And then that sort of wibbly hand mitten thingamajig. Yeah, I'm liking that. All right. What do we think, Patera? Looking good? Nice goopy ditto. I drew way bigger than the other one. Whoops. Awesome. Glad you like it. All right. Let me just go ahead and scooch on over to our next person. All right, looks like we don't have anybody new on the thing, so let's go ahead and spin. Okay. Becca Aaron. Looks like you're up. Alright. And Becca Aaron request. Could I get the Burb character, Trove, going some sort of holiday themed either jewelry or hypnosis to the Dragon Lady Rosie. Otherwise, just have fun with it. Okay, let's take a look at these references. Looks like they're Discord references, so they might not. Depends on how. Yep. I'm pretty sure the Discord name is the same as their Patron name. And it looks like their links are broken. Let's hope they get in here because Discord, broken Discord links are unfortunately not gonna work for work here. Or give him a little bit of time, but not a whole lot, because we do need to keep things on pace. Yeah, unfortunately, Discord links expire, and it looks like this was requested put in a little bit ago. Yeah, it's Becca. Yeah, Becca Aaron is the winner. I am spacing on what their exact patron, not the word, their Discord handle is, though. Oh, okay, girl persona. Good to see. I'll send you a DM with the links that you sent me. Here we go. Oh, okay. Hey. I guess that works. When you put the Discord links back into Discord, I guess it turns them into actual links again. I did not know that. Okay. So, let's take a look at our characters. Fun. Fun, fun. Alrighty. Okay, so plan this out. So it says, can I get the bird character Tro going some sort of holiday themed either jewelry or hypnosis to the Dragon Lady Rosie, otherwise just have fun with it. So holiday themed. When you say holiday themed, do you mean like a Christmas and stuff that just passed, or like Valentine's Day that's coming up? What's the thought here? I can start doing with some poses while ignore the holiday thing. So just a fun, like, jewelry themed sort of hypnosis-y type deal. Can do. All right. Let's turn this opacity up a bit more so I can see what I'm working with. I don't want to just copy the pose from one of the references you sent. I do. So let's. Maybe we have one putting a sort of like a crown on the other. Because jewelry can mean a lot of things. So, like sort of them looking up. In a hypnotized state. While they lean over, because they look big. Or a clasp, or a necklace clasp, that works. Yeah, then of course wing maneuvering. I think I am gonna do this sort of a sort of like a half up pose, I think. Because I'm trying to keep this, you know, fairly contained, I think. I'm also kind of hitting about last third of the stream. Energy is definitely starting to be a little bit more low-key. That's probably, her boobs are big, but not that big. Let's zoom. I'm zooming in on her face in this so I can take a look. Make sure I'm drawing her right. Control Z. And we are doing hypnosis, so we want sort of an unfocused but dreamy look. I'm trying to get that. Again, sort of half-lidded, but also one of the rough things about having a character with a cool sort of black schlera type of thing going on. Sometimes it makes it a little hard to read. Or at least hard for me to draw. I'm sure other people do it better because I am an okay artist. And other people are definitely more trained with me. More trained than me. Okay. Then let's have this hair all sort of folded back. And her horns going. Whoops, too far. She's definitely in a state of very lowered defenses. So let's reflect that. Have the ear sort of back, and I think I got the slant of her horns wrong. Okay. Yeah, they more go that way. So I should have another one right there-ish. Okay. Horn slant fixed. At this tilt of the head, you probably wouldn't see that, like, upper... You wouldn't really see that upper part. Okay. kind of want one of her hands to be sort of forward, like she's sort of lazily, sleepily reaching towards the pendant that she's being offered. And let's go ahead and rough in this dress. Gotta remember that it's got a very plunging neckline. And this should actually be up here. Move that neckline over just a little so that more of that tata is covered, because otherwise it's going to be uncomfortable and have a nip slip. Her shoulders are a little bit broader than what I've drawn them here, so let's reflect that. And make sure they've got their little scales on them. As well as these fun design elements. Then put them wings in. Alright, I think I'm actually going to draw our second character on a second layer, if simply so I can see him a bit more clearly, and then I'll erase stuff later. Let's place the hands first, because those are important to know where they are at. And then we can figure out where things are in relation to where that's at. Some sort of amulet. Then we want, let's go with putting the rest of his arm over there. This should probably, that's where I want the hand. Is that where I want his body? I want this head up here, looking around and matching her gaze. Sort of leaning over her, I guess. Because, you know, the thing about hypnosis is this guy's got some good creepy vibes. Some good creep factor. We want to play into that. Unless, of course, I'm totally misreading him, so always let me know if I'm misreading a character. Okay. Now, we want to get dramatic with these wings, I think. Sort of like... Okay, sweet as they are sinister. We should get stylized here. Like... There's a time for realistic feathers, and there's a time for unrealistic feathers. And this is definitely a time for unrealistic feathers. Now, should I have this arm coming from behind her? Or should it be that he's sort of reaching over? I think reaching over works. Let's put her horns in front of it though. He's invading her space a good amount. Let's erase a little on this layer. Okay. Erase a little under here. Okay, now we can turn this layer back up to full opacity. And their wings even make kind of a little heart. Now to get some facial features and clothing features on this burb. Whoops, that is too far. I like how as the stream goes on, the drawings just get bigger and bigger and bigger. C'est la vie. Let's merge this layer down. Control E. Yeah. Rotate so I can get the facial features on correctly. Control Z, not that. Control Z. Ah! Control Z. I'm not hitting the right buttons. All right. I'll put the eyes in place first, and then go and manage where the pupils are looking. They're also a bit low on the face. They can be higher. There we go. All right, rotate, reset view. Now to get all this floof in place, this hair. It looks like this burb man is 80% hair, which is fun. And they don't have even any ears because of all the floof. No ears, just floof. Just floof. Then I'm gonna do this sort of very light permanent, oh, it's too dark. That's sort of a permanent shadow going on. And an erase for them pupils. Not really licking the lips, but like, I do need a little bit of a... I'm having trouble with this sinister yet sweet smile. Rawr. Let's get some this jacket on. Looks like they also have a bit of a jacket coat thing going on. Some ruffles. Some pin feather dealios, as well as a okay, I need this hand to be holding this necklace clasp, and right now my loose fingers are not super doing it well. I almost want his hair to kind of be like, does this look like spaghetti? Yes. Does it make sense to me? Yes. That is the main thing that's important. Because then I can hopefully translate it into something that makes sense to everyone else. I think I'm gonna change it into an open mouth smile. Easier to make sinister, but sweet. I don't need to do it. Okay. Maybe a couple little loose feathers flying around. And then I think I'm gonna call that done. What do you think? Look good? I think I should be able to fit one more illustration in tonight. So let's zoom out a bit. Double check that we haven't had any new entries, and we haven't. And let's go ahead and spin for our next the next person. Now for the biggest start of the night. Maybe. Maybe. Let's see who gets picked. Mr. Spiffy! Huzzah! And what was on Spiffy's docket? Okay. Spiffy wants my Sona as a jester, levitating and laughing to themselves mischievously. A bit of hair sticking out of the hat so that they don't look bald. Maybe just a little face paint, I don't know. Maybe put some fun magic sparkles or card symbols around them. Also has a little cape like Jeevel has. Okay. Cool. Cool beans. Get to end the night on some jester vibes. Boop, 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 boop. Jester brain rot? Yep. Okay. Alright. Bird Jester. Nice. Suppose that does make you question. They're levitating with wings. Huh. Okay. Alright. Let's put this burb in a funny hat. Oh, pull that up a little more. Sort of a fun line of action. And I think, I know it doesn't show it in your reference sheet, but I think we've talked before and your bird character does have a tail. Correct me if I'm wrong though. So I'm gonna have that tail in there as a fun decorative element. Unless of course you don't want it. Good. Good to know. Is Jeevel not how it's pronounced? That's just how I've been reading it in my brain. Are other people going Jevel? I think that sounds worse. Okay, and we do have a cape element, so let's get that in there. And I do like sort of these upside down fun cuff details that I'm gonna snag. As well as some good old poofy pants. Get them poofy pants in there. Jevel. I think that sounds worse, but I guess. Everybody has their own takes. I don't know. I should stop drawing on this layer before I get too detailed on this layer. And put that in. Doop, doop, doop. Get some good stripy pants. Then let's make sure to get your beak in right, because beaks are tricky. We love beaks, they're fun, but they're also tricky. Especially drawing them in sort of a maybe I can cheat a little bit and put it in more of a side view, less of a 3/4. Like, I feel like putting a domino mask on ya. Something a little more like Venetian. Oops. Where'd you go? Let me see what sort of... I gotta figure out how I want this to look first, though. Okay, and this lovely illustration that you sent me, looks like you got a nice little ruff. So let's put that ruff in. And then I'm thinking sort of like a spiky under thing. Yeah, I think that'll look cute. One floofy silly ruff. One fun hat coming right up with a little bit of your hair poking out like you requested so that you don't look bald. And then I keep wanting to do like sort of a fun, like I said, domino mask. Very traditional, like commedia dell'arte. And we have one hat section sort of swirling, make them a little like, you want things jingly and silly and like you're prancing along. At least that's what I think. Alright, now let's also get some nice big sleeves in. Because we got sort of, you know, feather hands. So we want room for them to move around in. At least that's my thought. Add some tail feathers. Some a flowing cape. And another big sleeve. Because we want this sort of wing to be like up and about. this in. That wing is too big. Wing arm. Wingarm. Then let's put some of the proper folds. Little bits of stars sprinkling off. I almost want to like add a couple of like trailing ribbons. Yeah, let's add some trailing ribbons to like your ankles. Cause you're floating, you're flying. They're fun and flashy. Maybe put some more bells there too. Alrighty. Maybe sort of a checker a diamond pattern here on this underside. And a little more onto this cape. All right, what do we think? Nice and, what do we think? All ready to roll? All ready to roll, Spiffy? I'm gonna call it good. Looks like we got about 20 more minutes. So I think I'm gonna see if I can slide in one more request. And obviously it won't be finished on stream because, you know, it's you know, it's near the end, but we'll get a good start to something. All right. Let's roll for our last minute. Radian. Nice. Let us see what they put in. Okay, Radian. That looks like post TF of Radian doing something normal despite having a big, silly, squishy body, or a medley of similar situation in a similar situation. Okay. something with Rad doing something very mundane. Oh, whoops. Huh. Okay. Alrighty. Can do. What sort of mundane thing would we have should be going on? I should probably scooch some stuff around so that we're not as cramped. Scale some stuff way down too. There we go. And we got a little. Okay. Something normal. And I think I am going to use this princess medley. So I kind of want to have her sitting down. Maybe breakfast and like scrolling on the phone. Yeah, that seems fairly normal. I'm gonna put just like sort of general body pose in. One of the fun bits though is since they have multiple arms, one arm be holding the phone, the other arm be holding some sort of drink or coffee. Oops, that's way big. I think I'm a bit. Again, we're real strapped for time. I don't think I'll be able to stick a second figure in there. But so real sorry, Rad, but I think it'll still look nice. You know? Sort of a cozy at-home scene or the like. Alright. Only got about 10 minutes, so I'm pulling out our. This is a very detailed ref. Like I said, definitely won't get done. But let's get as much as we can in. So, got semi-muzzle. And got one set of eyes. Need to make these in a proper position. She's reading her phone while drinking her coffee. And got this mane sort of going over all the way over here. Looks like we got sort of double pony ear situation going on. Then there we go. Just finishing out this fun, crazy pool toy doll pony mishmash. That we're probably not going to finish by the end of stream, but we got it. We're going to get as much as we can. Okay. We'll have this ponytail over here. And then put her in just sort of a normal, well, in this sort of loose dress situation that she's got going on. Oh, my kitty is running around is running around beeping. It likes to chase random stuff in my room. Get some doll joints in there. And getting surprisingly far on this, actually. Huzzah! Maybe get some wings showing just for fun. Because she also has wings. And it's got a fun little hair stripe. Carries through all here. And let's fix up this hoof shape, because I kind of messed it up. More rubbery toyish joints. I could see what I can do. I guess the main thing that I'm like thinking about with that is that there's not really super rubbery joints in regular toys. Like, I don't know. I'll see what I can do. I'm thinking, more squashy. I'll go more squashy. Okay. Then got lots of butterflies. And we're just sort of chilling with one hand. And let's certainly like bigify this tail. Okay. I imagine she's kind of got it wrapped around her. That hand is not handifying well. And we're pretty much out of time. We're pretty much at time. So this is probably where she's gonna be for the end of the stream. And I will work on her further when inking. Okay. Yep. End of stream time. Let's take a quick look at everything. Yeah, you can definitely tell where I get tired and because I start drawing big. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad I've been able to hang out with you guys. I will probably change up the time for the next stream, if simply so because of my whole new sleep schedule that I'm on. This has been a lot of fun. Alright. So, good night, everybody.